How's it going, everybody? For today's beer review, we're going to be taking a look at Real Ale Brewing Company's Sisyphus, a barley wine styled ale. So this beer should be interesting for a few reasons. Because Real Ale is a brewery that I just absolutely do not like. I don't mean to, be biased, but I have bought plenty of products from Real Ale, and every time I buy one, I'm always just completely unimpressed and underwhelmed. I'll be just completely honest with you. However, it's also in the style of a barley wine, which, as far as I go, is a style that is pretty hard to mess up. It's kind of like an imperial stout. For me, they can only taste so wrong. I really like barley wines a lot. So, this one is called Sisyphus. It is their 2014 release, which obviously implies that they imply that you cellar this beer. But from what I've read online, a lot of people say that after cellaring it for too terribly long, that it's not so great. Some people said that 5 months seems to be the sweet spot. So let me see if I can find the bottling date on here. August 1st of 2014 is what we've got here. So that's what, August, September, October, November, December, January, we're middle of February. Yeah, that's about 6 months. So it looks like I'm right actually on where I kind of would want to be to do this beer review. So that is good. To give you some description here, it says, Sisyphus was Real Ale's first seasonal product, and it remains a testament to the hard work of our dedicated staff. This intense and warming ale features over 2 pounds of American hops per barrel to complement the rich toffee undertones of English crystal malt. Sisyphus is a hearty ale that can be enjoyed right away, or put some in your cellar to experience how this epic ale evolves. So that's cool and all. I'm trying to find an ABV on here. It has to be high if it's a barley wine. Well, they for some reason don't have it printed, but I do remember seeing it was 11.20% on Beer Advocate, I believe. So that's what I'm going to go with here, which is huge. That is a monstrous beer. One thing I am noting is that I can actually see a strong ring of sediment at the bottom of the bottle, so that's a pretty good sign. I'm going to be drinking this out of my Duvel snifter glass, so let's get the cap off of this. I'm going to take this one off carefully because it actually says the name of the beer, and I don't have one of these caps on a beer fridge yet. Wow, I can smell it straight out of the bottle, just barely even cracking the cap off of it. Alrighty. Pours a nice kind of murky caramel color. I'm going to pour this really hard because it seems to have just hardly any head potential at all. Pretty low head potential, but that's to be expected with the style and the fact that the alcohol is just so freaking high. Formed about a half finger of just slightly off-white, but decently thick, creamy, and dense colored head. Virtually no bubbles streaming up to reinforce the head, so it's probably going to disappear rather quickly. Holding this one up into the light, it is just a very dark, murky, kind of like a orangish honey caramel color, as you can see here. I'll make sure I got every last little bit out of the bottom of the bottle here. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. The liquid that I'm pouring from the bottom of this beer bottle is actually pouring out orange. It's making orange little speck marks on the head of the beer. I actually just went and grabbed a straw and put a little bit of the beer back in because I forgot to swirl it, and it seems like it actually is a something you'd want to do with this because there seems to be a lot of extra goodies at the bottom of the bottle here. Wow, yeah. Just a super, almost like milk pouring out of the bottom. So anyway, as far as the smell goes, that smells really good. It has a little bit of hops, a little bit of peach and mango, a good amount of malts, tons of caramel and like toffee, trace amounts of brown sugar. Yeah, that smells good. That's what I expect the barley wine to smell like. So you've got your fruity side of things with like peach and mango. You've got your more savory malt side of things, and you've got this kind of confectionery caramel and toffee sweetness going on with it. It smells really, really good. So let's go ahead and give it a taste and see if I'm going to have my mind changed about real ale, maybe a little bit. That's pretty good. It's what I would call a solid barley wine. I've definitely had better barley wines though. The flavors are a little bit subdued on this one. There's just like sweet hops and malts up front. A little bit of that caramel and that toffee. And then it ends on like a slightly hoppy bitterness. The alcohol is a little bit present in this one, and I would say that the flavors are not quite strong enough to mask it to the degree that it needs to be. So it's a quite boozy beer. Could be better. Could be a lot worse too. As far as my rating goes on this, I would give it, as far as the style is concerned, probably about a 65 to a 70 in the style. I've definitely had much better representations of the barley wine style. As far as my own personal, experience going with this is, I would probably give it about like a 76, 77 out of 100. It's good, but it's not really, really, really good. I think solid would be the word. I mean, it's a decent little barley wine. It's definitely nothing like super special to write home about. I will say this much: I'm probably gonna drink the other three right away because I don't think my limited cellar space is. I don't think this beer warrants using that space. I think it can be put to better use than keeping these in the cellar because it's not super amazing. Anyway, that has been my review of Real Ale Brewing Company's Sisyphus Barley Wine Styled Ale. Hope you guys enjoyed the beer review as always, and stay tuned for the next one.